Marvel was in trouble. After a string of Phase 4 disappointments, declining box office numbers, and a fan base that was growing louder by the day, the MCU needed something. Not a sequel, not a reboot, a resurrection. What they delivered was the most unhinged, self-aware, and strangely emotional superhero film in years. The question isn't whether Deadpool and Wolverine is fun. It absolutely is. The question is, does it actually matter? And the answer is more complicated than you'd expect. Welcome. Let's break it down. Deadpool and Wolverine, released July 2024, is the first R-rated film in the MCU and the third installment in the Deadpool franchise, now folded into the Marvel Cinematic Universe following Disney's acquisition of Fox. Directed by Shawn Levy, who previously worked with Ryan Reynolds on Free Guy and The Atom Project, the film reunites Reynolds as Wade Wilson, the fast-talking, fourth-wall-breaking mercenary, with Hugh Jackman, returning as Logan, the man who swore he was done with the Claws after Logan in 2017. The premise centers on the TVA, the Time Variance Authority, pulling Deadpool into a multiverse mission that forces him to recruit a broken, reluctant Wolverine. What follows is part buddy comedy, part multiverse spectacle, and part genuine love letter to Fox-era Marvel. No more spoilers. Let's get into the breakdown. Let's start with the script, because this is where the film both earns its praise and reveals its limitations. The writing, credited to Reynolds, Levy, and a team of collaborators, is sharp where it counts. The banter between Deadpool and Wolverine is genuinely funny, not in a forced, try-hard way, but in the way that only works when two actors have real chemistry and material that trusts them. Reynolds is doing what he does best, but it's Jackman who surprises. He's darker here, angrier, and more raw than we've seen him since the original Logan. The film smartly uses that emotional weight as its backbone. However, and this is important, the story itself is relatively thin. The multiverse framing device serves more as a delivery mechanism for nostalgia than as a genuinely compelling narrative. The stakes, while communicated clearly, never feel truly threatening, and the villain, despite a strong performance, is underwritten. We'll come back to that. What the script does exceptionally well is acknowledge its own absurdity without using that absurdity as an excuse to avoid emotional depth. There are 2 or 3 scenes in this film that hit with genuine weight, moments that recontextualize Wolverine's entire arc in a way that feels earned, not manufactured. For a film that opens with a man getting his arm ripped off to a Taylor Swift song, that's no small achievement. Shawn Levy's direction is confident and kinetic. The action sequences are well staged, brutal in the way only an R rating allows, but never gratuitous to the point of distraction. The fight choreography specifically deserves credit. Wolverine's combat style has an almost primal ferocity that contrasts perfectly with Deadpool's chaotic, almost comedic violence. Visually, the film leans heavily into a stylized, slightly heightened reality, colorful but not cartoonish, dark but never bleak. The TVA environments carry over the aesthetic established in the Loki series, though they're used more loosely here. The void sequences in particular are some of the most visually inventive in recent MCU history. Pacing is where the film has its most notable flaw. The second act drags in places. There are sequences that feel extended beyond their purpose, presumably to accommodate certain cameos and callbacks. For viewers not steeped in Fox-era Marvel history, some of these moments will land with a thud rather than a roar. The film is made with love for the fans, but occasionally forgets to make those moments accessible to everyone else. At 127 minutes, it's not overlong, but it could be tighter. 15 minutes of tighter editing would have made this a near-perfect blockbuster. So where does Deadpool and Wolverine land in the MCU canon? let's be precise about this. It is not the best Marvel film ever made. It doesn't have the narrative ambition of Infinity War, the thematic depth of Black Panther, or the structural elegance of the first Avengers. What it is, arguably, is the most necessary Marvel film of the last 3 years. It reminded a fatigued franchise and a fatigued audience that superhero films can still be genuinely entertaining, not because of spectacle alone, but because of character. Because when you put two compelling figures in the same frame and let them actually talk, actually clash, actually feel something, audiences respond. The villain needed more runtime. The second act needed a trim, and the multiverse as a narrative device is beginning to show serious wear. These are real criticisms, not minor quibbles. But the heart of this film, the relationship between two broken men trying to find purpose, works. It works better than it has any right to, and that, ultimately, is what matters most. 8.2 out of 10. Final score. Who should watch it? Anyone who wants a genuinely fun, occasionally moving blockbuster with teeth. MCU veterans will get more out of it, but the core story is accessible to all. Who might not love it? Viewers looking for a tight, narratively ambitious film. If you came expecting Logan-level drama, recalibrate your expectations. The bottom line, Deadpool and Wolverine is the shot of adrenaline the MCU needed. Not perfect, but vital. That's the breakdown on Deadpool and Wolverine, a film that earns its chaos, lands its emotional punches, and proves that character still matters more than spectacle, even in 2024. If you want more analysis like this, deep, honest breakdowns on the films that actually deserve your 2 hours, hit subscribe. Every week we put another film on trial. No hype, no filler, just the verdict. Next up, we're ranking every MCU villain from worst to best. You think you know who's at the top. You don't. That drops soon. See you there.